Well, they didn't steal my credit card itself. They stole my credit card number. I just got back from my debit card. Just walked in from the bank 5 minutes ago. That doesn't surprise me, John. Not one bit. Yeah, well, happy Monday to everybody. Officially rivalry week, too. Probably not. No. We got family coming in. So the next couple days I'll be getting ready for that. I'll have a house full of people. I should be good to go by Friday, though. Wednesday's looking like a no-go for anything for me. Thursday's Thanksgiving. I should be good by Friday. Everybody's leaving Friday morning. Hey, it's not even lunchtime yet, buddy. You're an hour behind me, so it's 10 o'clock where you are. And you ordered Taco Bell at 10 o'clock in the morning? I thought we talked a bit last week about your diet, Nate. You got a personal trainer and whatnot? I don't think Taco Bell is on the nutrition list for your new personal trainer. Favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. Yes. I heard that too, John. Yeah. Somebody posted on Twitter that they're going to have to double team him. Is he a good player? Yeah, he's a very good player. He's not even close to the best wide receiver that we've faced this year, and we haven't double teamed anybody this year. We don't need to. Do I like Taco Bell? Yeah, I don't remember the last time I ate Taco Bell sober, though. That's the problem. Usually if I eat Taco Bell, it's at 2 o'clock in the morning. And to be honest with you, just about anything at 2 o'clock in the morning tastes good. Oh, you work 2 blocks from there? You know what else is 2 blocks from there? Maybe you work there. The DMV. Yeah. Don't ask me how I know that. Oh, yeah. No, that DMV in Columbia is the like the main DMV for the state of South Carolina. And a guy that used to work for me had a DUI, and I had to take, like, he had to go get like a work. I needed him to drive for me, so he needed to be able to drive, and get a work restricted license thing so he could drive during working hours. And of course he couldn't drive because he didn't have his license, so I had to drive him up there. And you could see the stadium from the DMV. A couple blocks away. What up, Goose? So Dino Babers got fired. Where will he end up? I said this last week. If Mike Elko ends up getting that job at Texas A&M, if I were Duke, I'd give Dino Babers a call. A lot of Clemson people want him to be hired on the staff. I don't know what he would do, though. I mean, I think he probably wants a head coaching job somewhere. But if he was going to take a coordinator job somewhere, we've already got a coordinator. You know what I mean? So I don't know where that's coming from. But I think he's an offensive coach, isn't he? Listen, that's good. I thought he was an offensive. Let's look. Go to the Wikipedia machine because everything on there is true. That's what they told me. Where is? Oh, here it is. Wide receivers coach. Yeah, he's an offensive guy. Running back coach, wide receiver coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, running back coach. Yep. Damn, he's been a lot of places. Look at this. This guy's been coaching since 1984. Started out at Hawaii as a graduate assistant. Then Arizona State as a graduate assistant. Eastern Illinois, UNLV, Northern Arizona, Purdue, San Diego State, Arizona, Texas A&M, Pittsburgh, UCLA, Baylor, Eastern Illinois, Bowling Green, Syracuse. So he's had 3 head coaching jobs: Eastern Illinois, Bowling Green, and Syracuse. Syracuse problem is not Dino Babers. Syracuse problem is it's virtually impossible to recruit to Syracuse. I mean, I know he's got a losing record, and that's why they fired him after 8 years. But I don't know, man. What's up, Brandon? Zona, Nick. Well, I made the joke, how long before Dino Babers ends up on the Alabama staff? And you know what? That might not be a joke. You know Nick Saban might reach out to him. Offensive analyst. Saban's running the halfway house for fired head coaches. What's up, Puck? Yeah, Arizona's doing good, man. We might end up seeing Clemson versus Arizona in a bowl game. the Sun Bowl. That's a very big possibility. Well, if Clemson wins this weekend. Isn't the Sun Bowl an ACC and Pac-12 tie-in? I think it is. When do the bowl games start? Usually around December, the third week of December, I think. Let's go to El Paso. Is that where it is? I do know that's a cool stadium. Isn't it like built right into like in a valley surrounded by the mountains? What? Arizona's still in the Pac-12 championship race? What has to happen? Or so. Well, Washington's in the championship, right? They got to be. They're undefeated. So what has to? Oregon has to lose, and Arizona has to win. Is that it? Damn, that'd be something. Miami and Clemson competing for a spot in the Sun Bowl versus Arizona. Yeah. Who does Miami play this week? Is it Pitt? Miami doesn't have like a rival that they play in rivalry week, because I think they play Pitt. All right. This music's starting to get on my nerves. I don't know, whatever that is annoying. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. How you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Except for the fact that I had to go to the bank this morning and get a new debit card because, I don't know, somebody from Asia somewhere got a hold of my debit card number somehow. It's probably that cheap suit I ordered from Amazon that came from China. That's probably what it was. They stole my damn debit card number. But anyway, other than that, I'm amazing and fantastic. Week 13 on deck. And we got some big games this weekend. Still some conferences that are in... still some conferences that are fighting for a championship spot. We were just talking about the Pac-12. Volusia's the one that did it? Nah, he wouldn't do that. That would be something. Now, bad news for Arizona if you're having any sort of hopes of Oregon losing. I don't think that's going to happen. Oregon State's a good team, but they're not near as good as Oregon. Oregon might be the only team right now that I think could compete with Georgia, and that's just because they can score. You know, I mean, if you look at all these other teams, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Florida State now without Jordan Travis, that's a huge blow to them. So I feel like Oregon right now is really the only team that could probably compete with Georgia in the playoffs. DJ Uiagalelei had a terrible game. I think he threw for less than 200 yards, or right around 200 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, 40% completion percentage, whatever it was. He had a bad night. But they still stayed in that game. That Oregon State's defense is legit. They still found a way to stay in that game, but Washington pulled it out. Anyway, we're starting to see a lot of coaching fires. I'm going to pull the news up. We're going to read the news, some sports news this morning. But before I do that, let's see who's in here. Jacksonville Jaguars, for NFL people out there, on fire. One of the best teams in the league. I think they're 7-3. And I believe they've only had one loss in their past 5 games or something. They had a huge win yesterday over the Titans. Trevor Lawrence is on fire. Another big day for him. 3rd and 8, Robert, Matt Dummett, Traveling Fools. Yo, 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 yo. Anthony Swift, Jeremy Garrettson, the Tennessee Trump Hairs. Chunky D33, Vandy, Dandy, Nature Boy, Goose Sports, Nick DTV, Zona, Brandon, B Puck, Sports Talk 101, Sea Dog. I owe Sea Dog $50. And I'll get it to you this afternoon, Sea Dog. Like I said, I had to go get a new card, so I got to change out all my my card information on my PayPal and my Cash App and everything after the show today. But congratulations to Sea Dog and Rec Talk and all the other Georgia Tech fans. Big win this weekend. Beat the fruit. Got Dino Babers fired. Why y'all do that to him, man? Dino Babers is a good coach. You had to go and get him fired? Oh, all for what? So you can make a bowl game? That's selfish. Very selfish. No. But congratulations to Georgia Tech on making a bowl. I didn't think they could do it, and they barely did do it, but they did do it. They did do it. What's up, Mike Popcorn Porter, Bulldog JC, Tiger Baskins, VicTube Productions. Sea-Dog, you going to the game this weekend? I thought I heard you say that you were against Georgia. Also, a little birdie told me that Ludacris is going to be there. Is there any way we can get a picture of Sea-Dog and Ludacris together? That'd be great.
Breaking news from the PigskinPeete YouTube channel.
Well, the big news of the weekend, other than Auburn losing to New Mexico State 31-10, Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis confirms his season is over due to a leg injury. I think we all knew that. Anybody who saw it, I didn't see it live. I was streaming some other games, but Raj sent me a video of it. And, yeah, I mean, as soon as you saw his leg pointing the wrong direction, I think everybody knew his season was over. What is the official injury here? Let's see if they say. Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis confirmed Monday that the injury sustained in Saturday's game versus North Alabama will end his college career. Travis, the senior leader of undefeated Seminoles, suffered a gruesome left leg injury after being tackled on the first quarter run. Travis' leg was caught underneath a North Alabama defender at an awkward angle. It was quickly put in an air cast, and he was carted off of the field and placed into an ambulance. Travis said he has been overwhelmed by messages of support that he has received since sustaining the injury. I truly cannot thank everyone enough for the many thoughts, prayers, and messages that have been sent my way. I've been overwhelmed by the support from my teammates, coaches, Florida State community, and those around the world. Although the injury I sustained marks the end of my Seminole playing career, the great memories created here at Florida State will never fade. Being the quarterback at Florida State University has been a dream come true. I am humbled, honored, and grateful. What is the injury? I'm guessing it's a broken leg. I don't know. That's a good question, Vic, too. I don't know why they would fire him. I mean, he's he's got like a 40% winning percentage in 8 years. That's why. But the timing, I don't know. I don't know why. At least let the guy finish the season out, you know? Here's a video message from our boy Jordan Travis. Let's see this.
What's up, y'all? It's Jordan. Just want to let y'all know I'm doing good. Feeling good. Got a smile on my face. Just going to follow God's plan, man. God has a journey for me, and I'm going to trust him every step of the way. I appreciate y'all for all the messages. Go Noles.
There you go. Yeah, I feel bad for him. You know, a win against Florida this week and then a win against Lousville, they're in the playoffs. You know, I mean, I suppose that's all still possible. I honestly don't know much about his replacement. But I can tell you this, is the chances that his replacement are Jordan Travis are pretty slim. It doesn't mean they can't win, though, the next 2 games. Four teams have a realistic shot at the Big 12 championship game entering Week 13. That's what makes... I mean, rivalry week's fun anyway, right? But, you know, the Alabama and Georgia game doesn't mean much for the conference because they're both already in there. But you have, you know, like the Big 12 here, there's still a bunch of teams in it. The Pac-12, several teams still, or at least 2 teams still alive in that. Texas has a straightforward path to the Big 12 championship game. Everyone else in the title game contention needs some help. So Texas wins, they're in. If they lose, I guess there's a bunch of chaos that can happen. The conference released its championship game scenarios Sunday night ahead of the final week of the season as 3 teams are tied for second behind the Longhorns in the conference standings. Texas sits atop the conference at 7-1. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma and Kansas State are 6-2, which is interesting because obviously Oklahoma has a head-to-head win against Texas. Oklahoma State has a head-to-head win against Oklahoma. The simplest scenario includes wins by number 7 Texas at home over Texas Tech on Friday and number 21 Oklahoma State at home over BYU on Saturday. If both the Longhorns and the Cowboys win, then Texas and Oklahoma State will face off in the Big 12 title game. Texas will be all alone in first place in the Big 12 at 8-1, while Oklahoma State will have won the tiebreakers among any 7-2 teams because of wins over both the Sooners and the Wildcats. So there you go. That's the simplest scenario. What's the complicated one? Oklahoma and Kansas State both need some help from Oklahoma State to make the Big 12 championship game of those head-to-head losses to the Cowboys. If Texas wins and the Cowboys lose, Texas will face Oklahoma if the Sooners beat TCU. Kansas State, meanwhile, needs both Oklahoma State and Oklahoma to lose. If TCU and BYU both win and Texas beats Texas Tech, the Wildcats get a rematch with Texas if they beat Iowa State. A lot of ifs. This is another scenario, playoff scenario here. If Texas Tech wins Friday night, would not only take the Big 12 out of playoff contention, it could throw the conference title race into total chaos. The Red Raiders enter their game against Texas at 5-3 in the conference and one of 3 teams. Iowa State, West Virginia, tied for 4th, and a game back of 2nd place. Well, this is a mind twister, isn't it? So some possible chaos in the Big 12 there. I have a feeling both Texas and Oklahoma State will win their games. Utah quarterback Cameron Rising to return for his 7th season of college football. God. What's up, Jay? Look at my man. He looks like he's 30, because he is. Yeah, I don't blame him for coming back. I mean, this quarterback draft is absolutely loaded, and also, he's coming off of an injury. And if he's able to come back for another year, I don't know why he wouldn't, and it looks like he is. I don't even know what there's not really much of a story here. He's coming back, so that's the story. See, now why couldn't Oklahoma and Oklahoma State do this? Now, this is grown-ups here coming together and honoring a tradition, even though one of these teams is leaving the conference. Same thing, right? Texas is going to the SEC. And so now what? So now they can't play Oklahoma State in that rivalry game every year. Well, Washington and Washington State agree to continue the Apple Cup through 2028. So there you go. It can be done. Take notes. Did I say Texas and Oklahoma State? Who am I thinking of? Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. I don't know what I'm talking about, Texas. The in-state rivalry was in danger of no longer being an annual affair because of the dissolution of the Pac-12. Washington is one of 4 schools leaving for the Big Ten at the end of 2024. And Washington State, Oregon State are left as the 2 remaining members of the Pac-12. Common sense thankfully prevailed in the case that the game will continue, at least for a handful of seasons. The next season's game will be at Lumen Field, the home of Seattle Seahawks, before 4 on-campus games. Washington hosts Washington State on Saturday, and the 115th meeting between the 2 schools. Washington leads the all-time series 75-33-6. That's pretty close to the Clemson and South Carolina record. Pretty close. Which, of course, Clemson leads. Well, so that's good news. Not really. I don't really understand why they're playing a neutral site game next year, though. They didn't really say that. Sam Pittman to return as Arkansas's head coach next season. My thoughts on rivalry games at neutral fields is I don't like them. It's silly. I would hate it if Clemson and South Carolina played on a neutral field, and I'm pretty sure every fan of both teams would hate it too. So Sam Pittman's coming back next year. I guess they announced that he's not being fired and he's not leaving. So there you go. I wonder how the Hogs fans feel about that. We don't have too many Hogs fans in here, so I don't really get a lot of feedback from them. Here's the other big story of the weekend that we were talking about at the top of the show. Syracuse fires head football coach Dino Babers. I wonder, it might have been contract time, They say, oh, we're just going to go ahead and not extend his contract and fire him now. Because usually with a contract extension comes a raise and all that kind of stuff. Syracuse is moving on from head football coach Dino Babers. The school announced on Sunday morning that it fired Babers just shy of him completing his 8th season on the job. The news comes the day after the Orange fell to 5-6 overall and 1-6 in ACC play with a 31-22 loss at Georgia Tech. Babers led the Orange to a 10-win season in 2018. But he had just one other winning season and bowl appearance during his time leading the program. So there's the reason. I guess one 10-win season 5 years ago isn't enough to keep your job. And that's the other, yeah, during 2020, they went 1-10. Again, I don't think it's, whatever. We'll see. I have a hard time believing, maybe I'll be wrong, but I'll have a hard time believing that whoever Syracuse hires to replace Dino Babers is going to do any better. Then they just have a statement. We appreciate Dino, blah 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 blah, all that shit. So we'll see where he ends up. The guy's been coaching in college football since 1983 or whatever. So, maybe he'll retire. Who knows? College football winners and losers, ranking the final regular season games with the biggest implications. All right, I like this. I like lists. Ranking, here we go. Why are we starting? Okay, so here, number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Michigan. This one needs no explanation. The winner is headed to the Big Ten championship game. The loser could still be in the playoff at 11-1. It's the biggest game between these two fierce rivals since last season. See what they did there? It's the biggest game between these two teams since last year. This marks the first time ever that Michigan and Ohio State have met as undefeated teams in consecutive seasons. And the matchup is just the 5th time ever both teams have been undefeated at the time of the game. Michigan has won the last 2 games against the Buckeyes, and they won't have Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines as he serves the 3rd game of his 3-game Big Ten suspension for the Wolverines' in-person sign-stealing scandal. Number 11, Oregon State at number 6, Oregon. Bo Nix looked very much like the Heisman frontrunner in the Ducks' big win over Arizona State. Nix threw for 6 touchdowns and only 5 incompletions as Oregon scored 42 first-half points. The Ducks needed the win over their rivals to make the Pac-12 championship game. And this is an Oregon State team that's more than capable of ruining Oregon's dream season. And remember, it's their last meeting as the Pac-12 rivals before Oregon heads the Big Ten. Don't tell me they're going to shut that rivalry down. They need to do what Washington and Washington State did. Find a way to get that thing done. Florida State at Florida. The Seminoles need a win to cap off an undefeated regular season and also to show the College Football Playoff Committee that they are still an excellent team even without quarterback Jordan Travis. The senior suffered a left leg injury last Saturday night. He's been excellent this season as the Seminoles have been the class of the ACC. Yeah. And we just got done talking about these implications of these games. Alabama and Auburn. The Tigers enter this game on the heels of an embarrassing loss to New Mexico State. Auburn paid the Aggies nearly $2 million. $2 million. And lost at home 31-10. Meanwhile, Alabama had a very easy win over Chattanooga on Saturday afternoon. The Crimson Tide need to win to stay in the thick of the playoff mix with a win over Georgia in the SEC title game. And we've seen crazy things happen in the Iron Bowl when an unranked Auburn hosts. This could be closer than you think. Well, closer than I think would mean it would be like 31-17 instead of, 31-10. This is what I think it's going to be. A little group of five action. University of Texas San Antonio at Tulane. This game is basically an AAC semifinal. The winner heads to the title game. The loser will be sitting at home if SMU beats Navy in Week 13, which they probably will. UTSA has won 7 straight after a 1-3 start that included losses to Houston and Tennessee, and Tulane is currently in line to be the Group of 5 representative in the New Year's 6 bowl games for the second consecutive season. I wish the ACC would have went out and got Tulane and Memphis. I'd rather have Tulane and Memphis, and even App State in the ACC than Stanford and Cal. Texas A&M at number 15 LSU. The Aggies' trip to the Tigers doesn't mean anything for the national title picture or the SEC race, but it could have a massive impact on the Heisman race. LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels had 8 total touchdowns in Week 12 as he continues to be impossible to stop. Look, the Heisman's coming down to Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. Isn't it? Is there anybody even close? I mean, now that Jordan Travis is out of the picture. Not that, I don't even know if he would have had a shot anyway, honestly, statistically, but. So. I wonder if they're going to even go through the trouble of inviting 3 or 4 people, or if they're just going to say, you know what, it's a 2-man race. Other Heisman contenders like Nix, Ohio State's Marvin Harrison, and Penix. I guess Penix, he's got to be invited too. Could play 2 games before the voting concludes. Another big game will go a long way for Daniels' Heisman hopes. He's currently number 2 in the betting favorite behind Nix. I guess Penix must be 3rd. The problem with Memphis is their facilities are not up to par all the way. If they were able to get some Power 5 money coming in, they might be able to upgrade those. It wouldn't be hard to do that. And also there's some other teams in the ACC where their facilities aren't great. Also, and I mean. What's the situation at Georgia Tech? Do they have nice facilities? I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like that they do or would. Because they don't like to spend money on shit. I mean, they're playing in a stadium that's older than the country. I'm pretty sure it was built by the British people before the Revolution. It might be as old as the Roman. They used to probably have people fighting bears and tigers and shit in that stadium. Gladiators. James Madison at Coastal Carolina. The Dukes suffered their first loss of the season as they fell 26-23 at home to Appalachian State in overtime on Saturday. That was a crazy game. Of course, that's where game day was. That sucks. You win every game. The game day finally comes to your, James Madison, and you lose. Rec Talk, come on. You know it's true. You know it's true. Georgia moved, and I guess you could tell me, Rec Talk, what are the facilities like, the football, the practice facilities and all that like at Georgia Tech? I honestly just don't even know. For all I know, they built a brand new one 2 years ago, and I just didn't hear about it. So. Georgia moved up to number 1 in the CFP rankings and showed why Saturday's 38-10 road win over Tennessee. The Bulldogs dominated a Tennessee team that hadn't lost in Neyland Stadium since November of 2021. Coincidentally, that was Georgia's last visit to Knoxville. The yardage advantage this time was 472 yards to 277 yards, as Carson Beck completed 24 of 30 passes, 298 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Is that Beck's best game? 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and I'm assuming 0 interceptions. Louisville is heading to the ACC title game for the first time. For the first time. Jeff Brom's first year headed to the ACC title game. With a 38-31 win over Miami. It was just the 3rd true road game of the season for the Cardinals, but they were able to score a late touchdown and get a late goal line stand to emerge with a 7-point victory. Now 10-1 in year 1 under Jeff Brom. The Cardinals will meet Florida State in the ACC title game after next week's rivalry game versus Kentucky. On top of that, Louisville's college football playoff hopes are still alive. The Cardinals are the lowest ranked one-loss team, so they will need some chaos to crack the field of 4. Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe some. I don't think a whole lot has to happen. If they're 12-1 ACC champs, first of all, a win over Florida State, that's a top 5 win. And that will be fresh on the playoff committee's mind. But I guess if it came down to them or another one-loss conference champ, for that 4th spot, they would probably take a one-loss champ from any other conference than Louisville. That'd probably be the only scenario I could think of where they would get left out if they won out. But and that, by the way, that's also assuming that they're going to beat Kentucky. They've had teams better than Kentucky recently and still lost to them. So the game against Kentucky this week is not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination. And I think it's in Kentucky. Okay, so his best game was against Kentucky, not last week. I'm surprised I haven't seen this in here. And I didn't even know about this until after I made my State of the Fan address yesterday. Otherwise, I would have definitely mentioned it in the video. And of course, when I was streaming the Clemson game, I have the sound down, so I don't hear any of the commentary or any of the coaches' comments or any of that. But apparently, for anybody who saw the Clemson game against North Carolina last week, right before the half, Clemson's down inside the 10-yard line, right? They're trying to get a touchdown before the half, and then they get the ball to start the second half. Anyway, it was a controversial call somewhat. There was a review. Cade Klubnik scrambled, dove, and they reviewed it to see. I think they called it a touchdown. Well, I can't remember what they called it now. Anyway, the point is they reviewed it and they said it was a touchdown. It was very close, very close. I mean, you can't get much closer than that call. Anyway, apparently Dabo said that he was absolutely. This is the third time this has happened this year. Now he got the touchdown, or they called it a touchdown. So no harm, no foul, I guess. But according to Dabo, they told him before the play, whatever you do, do not run the ball. They said if there's nobody open, throw it away, because they wanted them to throw it away and then I'd have enough time, a couple of seconds left on the clock to kick a field goal before the half. So not once, not twice, but 3 times now this season, inside the 10-yard line or inside the 5-yard line even, Cade Klubnik has completely fucking ignored what the coaches told him to do. This goes back to what I said after the first time he did this. He should have been punished, at least for a half or something. Say, hey, you don't want to listen to what we tell you to do. You're going to sit your ass on the bench and watch somebody else play quarterback for a couple of quarters or a game even. That's how you stop it from happening again. But no, they didn't. And he did it again. And they didn't punish him the second time either. And so now he's done it again. What is wrong with this kid? And look, I like Cade Klubnik. I think he's a good kid and all that. And I think he's going to be a good player for Clemson next season. I still have faith in him. He's got to grow up, man. All right, I'm done ranting. Where was I? Notre Dame extends their TV deal with NBC through 2029. Notre Dame games are staying on NBC. The school announced on Saturday that it has extended its contract with NBC through 2029. The network has broadcast Notre Dame home football games since 1991. Give me some numbers here. The Notre Dame TV deal is extremely valuable for both the school and NBC, as it means the Irish get comparable TV revenue to the other high-level Power 5 schools. The extension very likely means that Notre Dame won't be joining a conference in football anytime soon. I want numbers. What are they getting? Is it the same that they're getting now, just extended? Or did they get a bigger payout? Doesn't say. Yeah, that's all I'm interested in is the numbers. But it doesn't say. Does anybody else know the numbers? I guess they just extended the current deal, not a new deal. Southern Cal falls 38-20 to UCLA in what may have been Caleb Williams' final college game. I'm going to go ahead and say it was. I don't know. Maybe he'll surprise me and play and whatever, because their season's over. Their regular season is over, and they're going to go to a, whatever, mediocre, low-level bowl game. And Caleb Williams is going to be one of the first quarterbacks off the board in the draft this year. So we all know how that goes. Most of these quarterbacks, you know, if you're going to be taken it somewhere in the first round, most likely, or even, you know, even in the top 10, they're not playing in the Birmingham Bowl or whatever. I'd be surprised if you did. Deion Sanders after Colorado's 7th loss in 8 games. This is the toughest stretch in my... What does he say? This is the toughest stretch of probably my life. Yeah. Colorado's game against Washington State on Friday night did not make Deion Sanders feel any better. Sanders wasn't feeling well during the blowout loss to the Cougars and was asked after the game if it was the toughest stretch of his coaching career. The 56-14 defeat dropped Colorado to 4-7 and was the Buffaloes' 7th loss in their last 8 games, and also officially prevents the Buffaloes from being eligible for a bowl game. This is the toughest stretch of my life, Sanders said with a slight chuckle. I'm sorry, guys, my head is throbbing. Starting to sound like damn Urban Meyer now. He kind of looked like Urban Meyer on the sideline during that game. You remember when Urban Meyer was losing and he started having those headaches? Yeah. Deion Sanders. I don't know. Maybe he really was sick. Yeah, not to mention Shedeur Sanders got hurt too. Washington State led 42-7 at halftime. and quarterback Shedeur Sanders left the game in the first half due to an injury. What was his injury? Was it a leg injury? Sanders got hurt on a strip sack but briefly came back into the game and threw a touchdown pass to Travis Hunter before leaving for good. He sustained numbness in his hand. Oh, okay, so it's a forearm injury. Got hit in the forearm and he could barely grip the ball. He couldn't really feel the ball. Then the second time he got injured was, I think, an errant snap, and I think they rolled up his ankle. So, he hurt his ankle and his arm. Sanders was 6 of 10 passing for 86 yards and a touchdown before leaving the game. Backup Ryan Staub and Gavin Cold combined for 6 of 17 passing for 78 yards. Gee, so, yeah, it just goes to show you how important Shedeur Sanders is to that offense. Because the offensive line's awful. I mean, and Shedeur Sanders is athletic enough to keep them in some of these games because of how terrible the offensive line is. But clearly these guys aren't. Colorado finishes Deion Sanders' first season in charge in Week 13 with a game against Utah. After beating TCU and Nebraska to start the season, Colorado needed overtime to beat Colorado State and has only beaten a 3-7 Arizona State team in Pac-12. Well, we'll see what happens in the offseason. The recruiting class looks terrible. I don't even think, what is it, 60-something right now? I mean, I'm sure he's going to go out and get 40 players from the transfer portal. And, I mean, I think that's his strategy as long as he's there. But if they have another 4, 5, 6 win season next year, I think Deion's. I don't know if he'll get fired because he makes that school so much money. He could probably win 2 games a year, and they still wouldn't fire him because the publicity around the school. I mean, they're raking in the cash with Deion there. So financially for Colorado, it's a great decision to have Deion Sanders as their head coach. But from Deion Sanders' standpoint, I don't think he's going to stay around if he sees that there's no chance he can win there. I don't. I mean, I think he'll be back next year for sure. I don't think he's just going to come in 1 year and call it quits. But another season next year like they had this year, and I think he's out the door. He doesn't need the money. It's not about money with him. Low-hanging fruit, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? This story just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Michigan booster Tim Smith denies being Uncle T. They got code names and shit. What? This is the wilds. I mean, this Michigan sign stealing thing. They're gonna do a 30 for 30 on this one day. There ain't no doubt about it. Hell, they might need to make a Lifetime movie out of it. Tim Smith denies being Uncle T, who allegedly funded Connor Stalions' sign stealing scheme. So is this the angle now? It's hard for me to keep up. There's some new shit every day. It's hard for me to keep up with all the crazy stuff that comes out of Ann Arbor on a day-to-day basis at this point. Well, is Michigan trying to blame this all on Connor Stalions and say he's the one that masterminded this? If that's what they're doing, talk about grasping at straws. Michigan's athletics donor Tim Smith denies his involvement with the NCAA's investigation into the university's advanced scouting scheme and believes that those in power are searching for a quote-unquote scapegoat to blame. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, blame one of your biggest contributors, so he'll stop contributing now. Great idea. Smith, a Michigan alum and CEO of a Detroit-based engineering solutions company, said fans and university associates are identifying him as the Michigan booster who allegedly helped fund former Michigan staff member Connor Stalions' in-person scouting and sign stealing scheme. Yahoo Sports reported earlier Friday that evidence from the NCAA's investigation presented this week to Michigan refers to an athletics donor, Uncle T, as having partially funded Stalions' venture. I can give you good news, Smith said during a 30-minute phone call with Yahoo Sports. I don't recognize being known as Uncle T. And I will refuse that myself. I never funded Connor. To say I knew him is perhaps overstating it. I said hi to him. I've spoken to him once more since he left Michigan to make sure the young man was okay. Well, now that's a little weird. Contacting the guy after he's been fired. I mean, you're not a coach. You're a booster. Smith is being targeted along with Stalions as the fall guy in the NCAA's probe into the school, Smith said. Both of them are being thrown under the bus. On Friday morning, for instance, officials from the school's name, image, and likeness collective, Champions Circle, dismissed Smith as a member. He received the notification in text form. They didn't even have the balls to call me, he said. Damn. They broke up with him through text. They evicted him from the group because they said that this could bring bad light onto other members of Champions Circle. Smith has spoken to Stalions multiple times since he resigned from the university after news of the scheme emerged. Smith said that the two are not close and that he knew him as well as any other staff person in the university's football program. Stalions self-funded the sign-stealing effort by selling a home for more than $100,000, Smith and Stalions told him. Huh? Stallions self-funded the sign-stealing effort by selling a home for more than $100,000. So Connor Stallions came up with this whole idea on his own, and then sold a house for $100,000 to buy tickets to other games. Does anybody think that that's even remotely possibly true? Come on, man. People don't understand why he would do it, Smith said. He paid his own way. It meant a lot to him. Oh, okay. I got some beachfront property in Omaha for anybody that believes that shit. Smith said Stallions worked at the university long before he officially became an employee in 2022. Stallions, a graduate of the Naval Academy, paid his own way for flights to and from Ann Arbor in the preceding years before his full-time employment. He was taking leave from the military, Smith said. Well, Smith sure he says he doesn't know the guy. All he did was say hi to him. But he seems to know an awful lot about the guy, doesn't he? So this is a wild story. I don't believe this guy now. I think, you know what? I think he is Uncle T. He told me it was all him paying for the scheme. That's what he told me. What, when you said hi to him in the hallway? You had a conversation, he told you that, you know, about all this other shit you're saying? He's lying too. This guy's a liar. I can already tell. I think there are people wanting to throw some people under the bus. It's all Connor and someone else. If Uncle T is me, I'm not aware that it's me. What? If Uncle T is me, I'm not aware that it's me? That doesn't even make any sense. You remember the OJ book, the book that OJ wrote after he was acquitted for the double homicide? Well, I didn't do it, but if I did, here's how I would have done it. This is you know, I'm not Uncle T, but if I was Uncle T, I didn't know I was Uncle T. Oh, this is making my head spin. Uncle T. Oh, Lord. If Ohio State fans don't flood that stadium on Saturday with fucking Uncle T shirts, get that? Uncle T shirts. Uncle T t-shirts. Ugh. I pity the fool who thinks Uncle T is me. Reminds me of the Houston Astros trash can thing. Nate is Uncle T. You know what? Nate, are you Uncle T? That's why Nate got so worked up and offended when everybody kept saying he was stealing signs, because he actually does have something to do with it. It struck a nerve with him. Did y'all see that video of Nate eating that foam corn? I know the people that were in the Patreon stream on Saturday night saw it because I played it. He has this thing. He's got this corn hat. I guess they sell it in Nebraska. And the thing is giant. First of all, Nate's a big guy, and even it's giant on him. I don't know, that thing's got to be 2 feet long. It's a giant piece of corn that you put on your head. And it's made of, it's kind of like hard foam. Nate ate that thing after Nebraska lost. Yeah, yeah. That's how Nate can take all those trips like down here to my house. And a couple weeks ago, he went on a fishing trip in Colorado. Yeah, somebody from the University of Michigan is funding him because he's Uncle T. Look at this. Look at the headline here. First of all, once I click on this article here, this will be the last article I read. I didn't realize how late it was. I'll open up the StreamYard if anybody wants to come in after I read this article here. But once I click on this article, I can just about guarantee that this is an Alabama publication. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But it sounds like an Alabama publication wrote this article. Jalen Milroe's transformation into a complete quarterback has fueled Alabama's revival. Let's see who wrote it. Jay Busby, senior writer at Yahoo. So I don't know. Maybe it's not an Alabama publication. He's a Yahoo sports writer. Maybe he's the Yahoo sports writer that covers Alabama. I don't know who Jay Busby is, but even by his own cranky standards, Nick Saban was exceptionally annoyed. On April 22nd of this year, Saban, sporting a jacket as blue as the sky over Bryant-Denny Stadium, stomped and sulked and seethed. 4 quarterbacks took turns running the Alabama offense during the Tide's A-Day. The Tide's A-Day, which is when they do the running of the Gumps, in spring practice. All 4 quarterbacks floundered to one degree or another. Now, to be fair to, Milroe and Alabama in general, the vast majority of quarterbacks in spring games flounder. I mean, unless you're a seasoned vet, top 5 quarterback or something. The biggest thing we're working on with quarterbacks is fundamentally what they have to do to be able to process what the defense is doing. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we know. So what's the... here's his stats for the year. 2,200 yards, 66.4 completion percentage, 19 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 179 quarterback rating. Something remarkable happened. Milroe benched during the USF game as a way of giving Tyler Buckner and Ty Simpson some playing time. I remember, we all remember that. Seems like it was just yesterday. Returned to the starting lineup, a changed man. See, this is what I was talking about earlier with Cade Klubnik. Sometimes parking your ass on the bench for a half or a game can do wonders for a quarterback, his mindset and the way he plays. But Dabo didn't do that. But Nick Saban did, and it worked. Or at least it appears to have worked. The ball zipped from his hands quicker and ended up in the right receiver's hands more often. As a result, Alabama kept winning and winning and winning. Pro Football Focus grades Milroe out at 90.5 on the season, a strong rebound from the Texas loss, in which he graded 58.2. Dig a little deeper into the numbers, it becomes clear why Milroe is now such a dangerous threat with both of his arms and his legs. It's also funny watching the Notre Dame fans, early in the season, they were pointing and laughing at Tommy Rees in Alabama. And now they all want their offensive coordinator fired. I don't know I'm not saying they want Tommy Rees back, but they didn't like Tommy Rees and they don't like this guy either. I don't know who they want. Somebody else. Milroe for Heisman? That ain't happening. Saban and offensive coordinator Tommy Rees have unlocked a deep throw ability in Milroe that makes the Tide dangerous from anywhere on the field. Almost a quarter of Milroe throws are deep. more than 20 yards downfield. And on those throws, he's hit for 12 touchdowns and 1 interception. That is not bad. And this is also, again, it's not a fair comparison. I understand this because the teams are different. But they don't want K. Klubnik throwing the ball downfield. That's pretty clear. That is pretty clear. Meanwhile, Milroe's out there throwing a quarter of his passes downfield. He is exceedingly dangerous with his feet. He scrambled out of broken plays 35 times for 360 yards. Broadly speaking, that means he's averaged a first down literally every time he's run forward. Wow. Overall, he's rushed for 524 yards on 47 attempts, an average of 6.4 yards per carry. There you go. Milroe, bro. Milroe, bro. What's this? You know what? I haven't looked at any lines because we're going to look at them tonight on the Lunch Money show. But how much is Auburn underdog at home? At least 3 touchdowns, right? Yeah, I would think so. 14.5. Damn. Yeah, give me Alabama to cover that. Anthony says, deep down, the Irish don't like Freeman. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, first of all, they'd be silly to fire Freeman. The guy hasn't had enough time, you know. I mean, they gave this guy.
Look down in the bayou.
The guy down in the bayou. How long was he at Notre Dame? 10 years? How long was Brian Kelly at Notre Dame? 10 years, I think. I know he won a shit ton of games, but he never won anything of substance. If they're going to give him 10 years, they need to at least give Freeman 4 or 5 to prove himself, I would think. Of course, those days are becoming fewer and far between where schools, especially the status of Notre Dame, that type of football school, are willing to give these coaches time to build the program the way that they want them. They want wins. They want now. And you know what doesn't help is when you look around the country and they look at Louisville, for example, and they go, well, look over at Louisville. Jeff Brom first year, they're 10-1 and still in the playoff mix. Why can't we have that at Notre Dame? And also the fact that Notre Dame's one of their worst losses of the year was at Louisville against Jeff Brom, first-year head coach. So those kind of things fuel those decisions and pressure from the boosters and the fans. You know, instead of just realizing that what Jeff Brom did this year is 1 in 100. Right, or I don't even know what the odds would be. They're low odds, and it's really a exceptional season. That's not common. What Louisville did. So, all right, open up the. Excuse me. Open up the StreamYard here. See if anybody wants to come on. What's up? Welcome to the show.
Hello, sir. How's it going?
It's going all right. I'm still a little bit perturbed and annoyed, honestly.
Me too.
Yeah, not football related or anything. Just
mine's football related.
Oh. Yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good about the football team right now. I mean, not the season as a whole, but you know how things are going right now. So.
Yeah, it was a good win for you guys.
Yeah.
I picked y'all against the spread, and y'all didn't let me down.
I didn't even know this till after the game, but I guess somebody posted all of Drake May's stats of his career as a starter at North Carolina. And the game against Clemson on Saturday was his worst game of his college career.
I believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all always have a good defense,
Yeah.
historically speaking.
Yeah, and the defense last year really wasn't great. It wasn't as good as it should have been. That was of course, that was the transition from Brent Venables to Wes Goodwin year.
Mm-hmm.
But they still had a bunch of dogs on the team, and they didn't live. I mean, they should have been a top 5 or 10 defense on paper, but they weren't. But they did. But they are this year. They lived up to the hype this year. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, we used to be a defensive team.
Yeah. Would you rather? And I think this is an easy question to answer for most people. Would you rather have an elite defense or an elite offense? If you could only have one, you can't have both.
Well, considering that we used to have the most elite offense quite a little while ago, about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years ago, we were number 1 in total yards pretty much every season. 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
I know those for a fact. I mean, it'd be nice to have an elite defense because, you know, the old saying, defense wins championships.
I think that's still true. I mean, it's less true than it used to be because the style of play has changed. But, I mean, Oklahoma's a perfect example under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Probably defense because, I mean, just look at teams like USC.
Yeah, another Lincoln Riley team. Yeah, that's a great point. But you know what? I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. If you are in an offense that is as good as LSU was in 2019, then you can have a shitty defense and still win. I mean, the amount of points and numbers they were putting up per game were just insane.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, they just had talent left, right, up, and down. And that was an amazing team.
And that's what gets under my skin every time people talk about, you know, Clemson's run with generational quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. It is because they just totally dismissed those great defenses that were on both of those championship teams. And I'm going to tell you right now, even with Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, if those defenses weren't elite like they were, they wouldn't have won either one of those championships. So
no. Now, I think the Clemson team with Trevor Lawrence would have had a better shot at the title.
Yeah, I mean, that defense was dominant, though. That was probably no, not probably. It was that 2018 defense for Clemson was the best defense under Dabo and Brent Venables.
Definitely.
I mean, it was like 4 first-rounders on the defensive line or something. It was insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dexter Lawrence. I mean,
people feared those
Christian
guys.
Wilkins. Yeah. Oh.
I mean, of course, we can't forget old Neckroll. Wasn't he on that team?
On the 2018 team?
Yeah.
Was he? I feel like he might have been a freshman.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I don't know. He might have been on the team. I don't think he was a starter, though. He was young.
Yeah, I know that.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go and to all of my bills and re-enter my payment information and all the different bills I pay, you know, my automatic billing each month.
Mm-hmm.
A pain in the ass. This is the second time this year I've had to do this.
Let's see. It was September. I actually had to do it 4 different times.
4 different times? What happened?
Kept getting stolen.
Oh, damn.
You know, when not like physically stolen, but like information and all that.
Yeah, that's what happened to mine. I got a text from my bank yesterday morning that said, hey, there's some weird charge on your debit card. Did you make this purchase? And I didn't. I was like, what the hell is this? I even tried to like Google whatever the company name was that tried to withdraw. It was $78 charge.
Man,
and some Chinese shit came up. So that told me all I needed to know.
Yep.
So
the first time, maybe it was the second time as well, people from Hong Kong tried to use my account.
Yeah.
And then the next one was in Maryland somewhere.
I had one. Now this was my a credit card, not my debit card. A few years ago.
Okay.
They actually called my phone, and I picked it up, and they were like, "Hey, Mr. So and So, are you in France?" I go, "No." And they go, "Okay, well, somebody's trying to use your card inside of a department store in France right now, at a high-end children's boutique."
Oh dear.
And I said, "Yeah, I'm not in France, and I'm not buying high-end boutique children's clothes from there either. So, definitely not me."
Yikes. Yeah, that's always so annoying when that happens.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. The one earlier this year, Mrs. Peete lost my debit card.
Oh, like lost, like physically?
Yeah,
Like
she went to the store, came home, and didn't have it, and so she dropped it somewhere. But so that was like 6 months ago. Now I'm having to do it again. Anyway, I know nobody cares about my problems. First world problems.
Yeah. Like I said, it's
Actually,
happened.
the high-end boutique type.
Huh?
I said, you strike me as the high-end boutique type.
Really?
No, not really.
Honestly, well, until my oldest, got to a point where he really cared how he dressed. I mean, we always had hand-me-down clothes for our kids. We didn't.
I do the same thing.
We didn't buy new clothes.
Judging by what you wear during streams, I mean, you shop at the Magnum PI collection at Sears.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm a thrifty shopper. I only look like I dress expensive. I don't really though.
well, I'm the same way.
I mean, come on, I just bought a damn 3-piece suit for $100. You know what? That's probably where my damn information got stolen. A damn Chinese suit.
Yeah, but I thought you used it on Amazon. I thought Amazon was supposed to be pretty good.
So that's what I said too, and Mrs. Peete said no, not necessarily.
Well, that worries me.
Yeah, I know, because I always thought that Amazon was pretty good security wise. But I don't know. I guess maybe some of these I don't know how it all works. I'm assuming that maybe some of these companies are able to hack into that when you buy from them or
I
something.
heard Amazon was pretty good, because the way I did it for years, and mainly still do, and Amazon's the only exception, if I can't use PayPal to pay for it, I don't buy it online.
Yeah, because PayPal's encrypted too. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a double.
They also guarantee you up to like $1 million.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is, I mean, the bank recognized it probably wasn't me, and I didn't get, they didn't debit it from my account. I didn't lose any money or anything. It's just a pain in the ass. Whatever. Could have been worse, I guess.
Like you said, first world problems.
Yeah, first world problems.
It's kind of like all of us on the internet crying and whining and acting like the world's ending when our football team loses a game.
Yeah.
What if your team loses to Texas State and you're a Power 5 team and you win the game?
Hey, man, North Alabama gave a top 5 team in the country all they wanted for a half of football.
Yeah, I saw that, and knocked their Heisman quarterback out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure how realistic the Heisman campaign was for him, but
I think you'd have got an invite.
He probably would have got invited. I don't think he would have won though. But
yeah, I'm with you. He'd have probably got an invite, but
Yeah.
well,
I think it's a two-man race right now between Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels.
I wonder if they're. In hindsight, it's always 2020. You know, I'm sure out there. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure there's some Florida State fans going, "This is all the coach's fault." You know, why was he playing in this game? We didn't need to play him in this game. We need him next week. Whatever. But
didn't Graham Mertz get hurt too?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he's out too.
On him is broke his collarbone.
Who Mertz?
On Twitter that I saw.
Yeah,
Man.
So I don't know. They're both down a quarterback. Hey, Slim, do you know what the backup quarterback situation is at Florida State? How good that guy is? I have no idea.
I was asking him during the offseason, and they said he's pretty good. He's taken quite a bit of snaps and blowout situations. And I mean, I get it's North Alabama, but you know, it's a guy that's seen limited snaps, and he still looked pretty good.
Yeah, and I guess if from a coaching standpoint, you know, Florida's not going to have a whole lot of good film on him, so they're not really going to know what to expect from him.
Right. I mean, I'm still fairly certain it's going to play out the same. You know, they're probably still going to win the ACC and be a first-round exit from the playoff, more likely.
Yeah, I think they're probably still going to win the ACC too, but I do think it does make the game against Louisville more interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's like, you know, everybody wants to get on here and say Miami's a terrible fucking football team, but hey, okay, is Miami terrible and Louisville's just that bad playing down to them, or is Miami better than what people give them credit for?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's funny watching the Hurricanes fans, though. They're confused on what to complain about because they can't get on Van Dyke because he played a clean game. He played actually a damn good game.
Yeah, and he was in pain the whole time too.
That shit sounds painful. Just skin separated from your muscle and it's all swollen up. That just sounds painful.
Yeah, every time he was on the sideline, they were showing him on camera. He had a big old ice pack wrapped around his thigh. And you could see him physically sort of limping after a couple of series.
Yep.
You know,
I'm really certain that happened against North Carolina.
I think both teams gave up a lot of yards on the ground that game. At least that's what I noticed.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious Miami's defense stayed behind in Tallahassee because they played better in every game this year than they did in that one.
Yeah.
Who y'all play this week? Pitt?
Boston College.
Boston College. Why do I think you guys played Pitt every rivalry weekend?
I mean, a lot of times it worked out that way, but with the new scheduling, there's no divisions.
Oh yeah, right. That's why. So you're gonna have a different one each year now.
I mean, I would guess. I don't know. I haven't looked at the new scheduling they put out.
Well, there can't be that many options because most of the ACC teams have a rival they play every year. So I think Pitt's one that doesn't. Boston College, I guess, is one that doesn't. That might be it. Duke, maybe? Who does Duke play? I don't know.
Well, our two yearly opponents are Florida State and Virginia Tech.
Is that still the case even with the new schedule?
No, that's what it is with the new schedule.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Florida State, Boston College, and Louisville with the old one.
Oh, that's right. You're one of the teams that got two teams every year still? Everyone else either got one or zero. Like Georgia Tech got zero.
Yeah, but North Carolina got 3.
Yeah, another team got 3 too. I can't remember who it is. Might have been Duke. I can't remember. But
They did take care of Tobacco Road. That's kind of without a doubt.
yeah. And Clemson got Florida State.
Yeah. But, I mean, according to the press release, though, Georgia Tech volunteered not to have any.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they needed some people to volunteer, and Georgia Tech volunteered.
Wow. So Sea-Dog went on a 30-minute rant about how he was disappointed how the ACC didn't give them any yearly matchups, but it was his own school's doing.
Yep.
Well, we need to see Sea-Dog, if you're listening, we need to see a follow-up video where you're yelling at Georgia Tech for volunteering.
Oh, Sea-Dog's not going to do that. You know that as well as I.
I wonder if he's going to dress up like Buzzsaw again this week at the game.
I don't know. He might need to every week considering they won.
I'm looking forward to hearing some stories.
That's a good win for them.
I mean, he needs to take that whole outfit and never wash it and wear it to every game.
That's just gross. Yeah, Sea-Dog could be like that. You know how some of these schools have those one, like the super fan that dresses up? Like Ohio State has that one guy that paints himself silver and has the big O chain on. You know what I'm talking about?
He's got a few of them, yeah.
Florida State's got those two idiots that dress themselves up in glitter. One's red and one's whatever it is, gold.
Yeah, you had the one that we took that picture with at the Clemson game for Miami. You've got a couple more that are usually with him, and then you've got that guy that they featured this year that got a hold of a full set of pads and uniform and wears that to every game.
Yeah. Sea-Dog could be the official super fan for Georgia Tech. They could let him even like run around on the field during halftime and let everyone clap for him.
I mean, they already coached a spring game, so
yeah. There's Sea-Dog. He says, whatever, I'll criticize my program if needed. I made that video before I found that out. But he is pissed off about it. Okay.
So, I mean, but it's only right that if you're going to consider yourself media personnel, when you get something wrong, to retract your wrong.
Yeah, we need a retraction.
Yeah, bro.
A video retraction.
See, today's one of those simple pleasures in life that parents get. I had to take my kid to the dentist, and now she's all goofy and shit.
Oh, she got the gas?
Oh, yeah, she got the gas.
Oh, yeah. I've been there before.
In a little bit.
That's some of my favorite videos on YouTube. Or maybe, is it on YouTube? It might be on Twitter. It's on Twitter. It's wisdom teeth videos or whatever. It's all it is videos of people after they get gassed when they get their wisdom teeth out, and they're funny.
See, I didn't get that experience with my wisdom teeth because they had to. Two of mine were broken, so they actually had to go in and surgically cut them out.
Well, they have to surgically cut out your wisdom teeth anyway. That's what's.
And that just sounds useful.
They had to put me under.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times they can just pull the teeth, and two of mine they were able to, but two of them they had to go in there, cut open my gums, get it out, and then stitch it up.
Yeah, that's how they had to do all four of mine.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that's how it was.
Two of mine they pulled, and the other two they had to cut out.
Yeah, they put you out. I mean, you go to sleep and you wait. It feels like you wake up 2 seconds later and you're done. And you're in La La Land, to say the least. I did not see that video, Sea-Dog. I'm assuming it's on your channel. So he ran into his counterpart, another person wearing a mask. I'll check that out.
Yeah, and yesterday was not a good day for these SEC homers and flag wavers.
Oh, well, Auburn didn't help.
Auburn didn't help. Missouri didn't help. I mean, how do you come down to a field goal as time expires against a absolutely shit Florida team?
Yeah.
I mean, Florida's bad.
Yeah, and without Graham Mertz, at what point in the game did Graham Mertz get hurt?
That I don't know. Because like while you were watching Kentucky, South Carolina, like I was flipping between the Florida Missouri game and the Beavers and and Washington.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. It was pouring down rain the whole time.
It was.
DJ had a terrible night statistically. I think it might be his worst game of the season. He didn't have any touchdowns and he had 2 interceptions.
Well, I mean that helps you out.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to lose. Me and Lou have 2 bets. I'm probably going to lose one of them because if Georgia beats Georgia Tech, I lose that one. And I might win the other one with Klubnik and DJ. We'll see. I haven't looked it up to see what the stats are, but
You made a bet that Georgia Tech would beat Georgia?
no, I made a bet that Georgia would not go 12-0 in the regular season.
Oh,
I thought they would lose 1 game.
I got you.
Yeah, which clearly I was wrong.
Well, I mean that's a assumption I make of everybody every year, kind of until proven otherwise.
Yeah, and that's the reason I made the bet. I mean, statistically, the odds were on my side that they wouldn't go 12-0. So,
But I mean, then you should have thought about just how terrible the SEC is as a conference as a whole, and been like, well.
yeah, but I didn't think. I mean, I didn't think Auburn was going to be as bad as they are. They play Georgia every year. I didn't think Tennessee was going to just completely friggin' fall apart the way that they have. I also thought South Carolina is going to be better than they were this year, and Florida. So,
SEC down bad, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going on a campaign of annoying SEC homers on Twitter Spaces because they can dance around and argue everything but the point of 5-2. You are 5-2 against the ACC.
Yeah. Wait, me?
But if this team played that team, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
You mean they're 2-5 against the ACC?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
The ACC's got 5 wins to 2 losses.
Right. And it's probably going to get worse this weekend.
You know, and not only that, the Big Ten has a very similar record. I think they're like 4-2.
Wow.
The ACC's 4-2 against the Big Ten. Although, shout out to the Big Ten, they did break their streak of losing to a MAC team every year since 2006.
Whoa. That's something to build on.
It is.
Well, now that they're adding some teams from the Pac-12, they'll lose to a Mountain West team instead.
Yeah.
When is that next year?
What?
When those Pac-12s leave, it's like Colorado's going to the Big 12, right?
That's next year.
Yeah. Oh, damn. We were just talking about Colorado earlier. They might have a worse record if they go to the Big 12.
Might be right there.
Yeah, well, that's another group I managed to piss off yesterday when I reminded them that Deion's not a football coach.
Well, I mean,
Maybe Deion fans mad.
stay here.
The Dion people don't have much of a leg to stand on at this point. I mean,
According to them, I'm just a ignorant bigot.
I mean, really, the only thing they can say that is a fact is that he took them from a 1-win team to a 4-win team. So that's a 400% win increase in one season. So I guess there is that. But
yeah, but those people were talking about dark horse for the playoffs.
That's what you call delusion. That's what that is. I think I have to go back and listen. I think I picked Colorado to go 4-8 or 5-7, something like that. So it was pretty close. No, Colorado's not winning the national championship next year. What year is Travis Hunter? Is he coming back?
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
Yeah.
A true sophomore, I'm pretty sure.
So they'll still have Sanders and Hunter. What they need is an offensive line. And that was the other. Remember that when Dion said our offensive line's no good?
Yeah, he threw them all under the bus.
Threw them right under the bus. Yeah, Dion brought in the money. That's why I say that he's not under any threat of getting fired, even if they do the same thing next year that they did this year, because they're raking in the cash.
Yeah.
But Dion won't hang around and lose for long.
No. Probably not.
And if he does end up leaving, he'll burn the house down on its way out too. There is that. He'll throw the Colorado administration and athletic department right under the bus. You know he will.
Yeah, he'll probably blame that goat on the Aflac commercials.
Yeah.
I don't know who in here follows baseball, but before the Chicago Cubs won their World Series, for the first time since 1908, there used to be an old saying where they'd blame the old Billy Goat. I feel like that's something that Dion would do.
Blame the Billy Goat. Blame that. What's the name of that damn buffalo?
I don't know what his name is.
Somebody knows. He's got a name.
I don't know, but you know what? Since you're taking such a hardline stance on this, I'm going to start petitioning Clemson to get a fucking tiger.
No.
Ralphie?
Well, you know what? Yeah, Ralphie. Thank you. Yeah, Ralphie the buffalo. Or I don't even know if it's a buffalo or a bison or if there's a difference, whatever it is.
It's a buffalo.
But as far as the Tiger to Clemson thing, it does just so happen that this season, or this academic year, was the first year that Clemson opened up a veterinary school. So, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility where they do the same thing LSU did and go quote unquote rescue a tiger.
Well,
and
they'll spray paint half the damn thing purple.
Yeah, spray paint. Yeah, purple tiger. Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah, Dabo's gonna have it on a leash and run it down the hill before every game.
Oh God. Oh, Jay, thanks for reminding me. Let's do it right now. I always forget. I completely forgot on the Patreon stream to do the rigged hat. So let's do it now.
Rigged hat.
Yeah, rigged hat. Right here.
Yeah, I know you texted me about that the other day. Do you have my address on that too?
I do not. If you want to text it, text it to me. I'll send it out, or I can bring it to you in March. It doesn't matter. I can mail it out to you. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's fine. You can bring it to me in March. Save yourself on the postage. You'll be all right.
All right. So here we go. I'll mix them up real good. I'll mix them up. I did add a couple names from some new Patreon members over the weekend. So good luck to everybody. And what do I have left? I still have coffee mugs, and I think I still have two. No, because one's for you. I've only got one beer mug left, one beer glass left, and I think two or three It might be 3 coffee mugs. I don't know. But anyway, they're still both available. All right, here we go. Going in. And the lucky winner is Brandon Pratt. I think he's in here. He was earlier. Brandon Pratt. Everybody can see that. I think you can see that on the screen there. Yeah, that's who it is. Brandon Pratt was in here a minute ago. I see his comment. So congratulations, Brandon. You just have to let me know.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. You just have to let me know if you'd rather the coffee. Here, I'll show it to you if you haven't seen it, just so you know. Shit, getting old, man. If you want this deal here, the black coffee mug, or I don't know, Brandon. There he is. I don't know, Brandon, if you're a beer drinker or not. You don't have to put beer in it. I guess you can put anything in it. It's a glass, or the glass. That's your 2 choices. So let me know which one of those things you'd want, and then I guess email me your mailing address, and I'll send it out to you. I don't know if I might not, because of the holiday, I might not get it out this week. I might be able to. If I'm over that way, I'll do it. If not, I'll send it to you next week. My email is, if that's how you want to do it, my email is in the description. No, it might not be. Let me look. I think it's in the.
I think it is.
I know it is on my other channel. I want to make sure it is on this one. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Look.
If it is, I've got something to email you.
Oh, yeah?
You remember when I talked about how Baylor at the basketball games, they put that thing in people's seats saying basically scolding their fans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my email, it is in there. It's scroll down, it says business or sponsorship inquiries, email Pete. Yeah, it's in there.
I got you.
He says he wants the coffee mug. All right, coffee mug it is.
Let me see.
I have an overabundance of coffee mugs. That's why I went with. I don't think I have a beer glass. Surprisingly enough.
Really?
Yep.
I use mine all the time.
People.
Put it in the freezer and get it ice cold. Yeah, that's what I do. But I will be sending it snail mail. So it might take 4 or 5 days to get to you once I mail it out.
Dude, it's ridiculous trying to because my wallet fell out of my pants pocket while I was using the bathroom, offloading down in Apopka, Florida. They overnighted me my wallet back to me. $108 to overnight something.
What?
Yes.
A wallet?
And that's what, a pound, maybe?
That's ridiculous.
It can't even be a pound.
Well, I told you, I just sent regular UPS for that first coffee mug I mailed out. It was $22. It cost more than the mug. I was like, what?
That's ridiculous.
I know. So anyway, it only cost, I think, $7 to ship it snail mail. So that's not. I can deal with that.
Neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow. I don't remember the rest of it.
All right, you already sent me the address. Yeah, good going.
Maybe I should go work for the post office and improve the reputation.
I don't know, man, but it doesn't matter. If you live in the same city as me, let's say you're just mailing it across town. It takes 4 or 5 days just to go across town to get to me, because my sister mails stuff to us all the time, and my mom and stuff. And they live one city over, but still local. And it takes 4, 5, 6 days sometimes for them, whatever they mail, to get here. But if somebody mails me something from out of state, it gets here in the same amount of time. So I don't understand how that all works, but.
Well, yeah. I'm automatically going to question people that mail shit across town.
Oh, let me tell this. I haven't told this story yet. This just happened last week or 2 weeks ago. Speaking of mail, so we have. I live in Somerville, right? So in Somerville, there's another street address that's almost identical to mine. It's one word different, but it's a different zip code. There's a 29483. I'm at 29486. But anyway, the street name looks the same. So a lot of time, since we lived here, at least 2 or 3 times a year, we get the mail from this other guy's house where he lives on the complete other side of the city, right? So it's like a 15 or 20 minute drive from here. Anyway, he gets our stuff every once in a while, and we get his stuff every once in a while. So when me and Mrs. Peete were out of town in Texas, we got a phone. We exchanged numbers with the guy, so if we get each other's mail, we can figure out a way to get, meet up and get our mail. So Mrs. Peete gets a phone call from this guy, and this has happened a dozen times before, so it's nothing new. And he goes, yeah. Apparently I ordered something off of eBay. I forget where he said he ordered it from. And it was sent to your house because I tracked it and they said it was delivered. And so I'm assuming you have it. And she goes, yeah, actually we did just get it right before we went out of town. I was going to call you and let you know we have it. So when we get back in town, you can come get it. And then he got weird and he goes, just in case you opened it, thinking it was yours, that was a gag gift for one of my frat buddies. And she's like, okay. She's like, no, we didn't open it. We're not going to open your mail. And he's like, okay, good. And then he's like, so she said, we'll call you when we get back in town. So anyway, we get back in town and she calls him and let him know, hey, we're back in town. If you want to come get your package, we have your package. And he goes, I'm out of town now. I'll call you when I get back in town. So a week goes by. We don't hear from him. We have this thing sitting on the top of our refrigerator the whole time now, okay, in its package. And so after a week goes by, she calls him. And she's like, hey, I haven't heard from you. We still have your package. If you want to come get it or if you want to meet somewhere, we'll give it to you. He goes, oh, no, I don't want it anymore. You can just throw it away. So now we're curious about what the hell's in this package.
Oh, yeah, that package is getting opened at that point.
So the package may or may not have gotten opened before it got thrown away. And I see why he didn't want to come get it. I don't even know if I can say what it was on here.
Sure you can.
It was a 3-inch penis extender.
What?
Well.
Oh.
Well, as we've made clear on this show, no matter what channel it's on, we don't kink shame.
Oh man.
Speaking of emails, I just sent you that a picture of what they put on all those seats.
Okay, I'll open that up. So yeah, that was funny. That was funny. And I was like, great, that damn thing, that package was sitting on top of our refrigerator for like almost a month. If one of my kids would have said, like, hey, what is this? Because our kid, anytime we get a package from Amazon, the kids think it's for them, so they go and open it. They might have went and opened that thing and been like, what the hell? What's going on, Mom and Dad? What are y'all doing?
I'm not sure if I believe whether or not that thing made its way to the trash.
Oh, it definitely did.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be. What is this here? Thank you. So this is Baylor. Where do you say they placed on every courtside seat for the last men's basketball game? Great home court advantage. It's a gold What is that? Is it like a card?
It's one of those. It's hard to describe. Because I was on a different side of the arena. I did see that, but I guess it's like a. I want to say it's a poster-ish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. So it says, it has the Baylor logo on it. It says, "Thank you for attending today's game. Baylor Athletics strives to create lasting memories for our donors, fans, and students. Courtside patrons are held to a higher standard of responsibility for their actions and conduct before, during, and after the game. Officials have the authority to request courtside removal of any fan who is acting inappropriately." That's it.
Well, something tells me my definition of inappropriate and theirs probably varies widely.
Oh yeah, we have one of the most softest athletic directors. And
Well, I expect that out of the state of Texas, period. I mean, like, what do they think's going to like, they start that horns down shit next year. SEC's going to tell them piss off.
So Baylor, man, what happened for them to like, something must have happened.
honestly, I don't think anything happened. It's just, they just want to put that there to, I don't know. It almost discourages people from even going to those games.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think anything has happened. Like I would have definitely have either seen or heard if something actually did happen. Like somebody got up and tried to punch one of the officials. I mean,
what? So like, if I got angry at one of the basketball players and I stood up and told him he was an effing bum, would that get me kicked out?
I don't know.
Probably.
I'd say give it a shot.
Well, you can go and test the limits and let us know.
I hope it doesn't come down to that, but I'll see what I can do.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. It is 1 o'clock, guys. I gotta go.
I likewise have to go.
All right. Slim's already fallen off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think he lost a connection or something.
Maybe.
All right, Baylor, man. So who's Baylor playing this week in basketball?
Oh, in basketball?
Yeah. I know that's what you're on to basketball now, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. Our football team plays against West Virginia at home. I'm going to that, but it'll be probably a loss. The only game that we have this week, the only one that's scheduled, I guess, unless they win. Right now, they've got Wednesday against Oregon State at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York.
Are they any good?
They're decent. They're 3-1, not ranked.
And Barclays, is this one of those Big 12, Pac-12 matchup tournament things?
It's called the NIT Season Tip-Off.
Yeah. Right. The ACC does the ACC Big 10 Challenge every year.
Yeah, it used to be the Big 12 SEC Challenge, but now we're playing the Big East.
Oh.
I think who's the SEC got nowadays? I think they're doing
They might be doing the Pac-12 then.
They might, it might be. It's one of the conferences, but our Big East opponent this year is Seton Hall.
Oh.
And that's a home game, so if I'm not working, I'll probably be there.
All right. All right, Baylor, man. Thanks for coming on, Ben. Appreciate you.
Of course.
Have a good one. All right, everybody. That's going to do it from down here. Of course, I'll be back tonight at 10 p.m. for the Lunch Money Show. And we'll go over the last regular season betting lines. Last regular season game betting lines. and tell you how to lose some money. And believe me, I'm good at doing that this year. So, all right, everyone, have a great Monday. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you.